What a catchy tune. I never get tired of that tune. Welcome, everybody, to tonight's episode of Nat One Network. Please remember to unmute yourself. For those of you joining us, watching us, we are on episode 19 of our campaign. It's been a blast thus far. Can't believe we're on episode 19. It's crazy. With that being said, I know the election is underway, and I just want
don't talk about it. No spoilers.
No spoilers. Regardless of what happens, we just hope that level heads prevail, and that we can handle this with dignity and class, and let's not let this divide us, regardless of the outcome. And hopefully, we can come together as a nation. And that's kind of all I have to say about that. Other than that, couple things. Locks, I know there's still a Kickstarter going on. If you wanted to dive into that really quick, so those watching.
Sure. Are we going to share a window again? Or are we just going to?
We're just going to talk about it this time. We're going
to because I wasn't ready. Yeah. So we do have a Kickstarter going on still. It's I think we got about 20 days left, somewhere in there. Mm-hmm. The election that we're not supposed to talk about kind of took my attention for the last couple of days, so I haven't paid attention. I don't even know where we're at. I know we're funded. I know we're reaching some goals. So there's going to be some digital stuff that's going to be sent out. So
what's the name? What's the name of the Kickstarter?
Nightmare Theater. Something. Nightmare Theater.
Search Nightmare Theater, and you will find it on Kickstarter. It's a graphic novel anthology. And it looks pretty cool. There's a lot of cool creators involved in it, a lot of high quality creators, spooky, cool stories. Terry, I know you created one yourself. So I look forward to reading it. But yeah, go check that out, guys. Back that Kickstarter. Secondly, we do have a Twitter account. It's at Nat1 Network, right? Is that it?
Mm-hmm.
And you can follow us for funny memes. You can find us for D&D news and just keeping up with all of us in our wacky lives that we got going. I just recently moved, so I have boxes and lamps and stuff all over here. So still settling in. Danan, Carla, I know you cooked something the other day from a certain book.
Yes, yeah. Everything is D&D related lately, just because life. That's the way that it goes. We recently got that book, Heroes Feast, is amazing. Immediately after trying a couple of recipes, we had to tell everybody to get it. It's great. The food is amazing. It's so
fantastic
tasty.
Artwork.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and besides that, it's D&D related. So both of activities that we all enjoy, D&D and
like
food.
What?
So
it's like $15 on Amazon right now.
Yes.
Yeah. Like if you got $15, just do it.
So I think what we're going to do is one of these days.
The mule wine, it's so good. Yeah, also good.
We're going to get together and we are going to cook a Heroes Feast and we're going to videotape it. And then you guys are going to show you a dish. And I think maybe we'll put a poll up on our Twitter account for the dish you want us to cook. And we will videotape it and put it up on our network here. So you guys
let's do a Friendsgiving special. What about that?
Yeah. Most of us, I don't know, Terry, I don't know if you're coming over tomorrow or not, but everybody here, minus Brall, are coming over for dinner tomorrow. I'm excited for it. Terry, you're obviously invited. But yeah, looking forward to that. Also looking forward to tonight's episode. Does anybody else have any house cleaning things that they would like to, or anything?
The Dragon 7.
So good.
We're obsessed. We're obsessed with that book. Yeah. So.
Anybody else have anything that they'd like to add before we get started on tonight's episode?
Just a reminder that my shirt says "Disco Pussy Posse." That's it.
Mine's black because it's slimming.
Perfect.
So, do you start it with just a reminder, like you told us before?
Yeah,
I know I've been saying this a lot recently, guys, but my shirt says "Disco Pussy Posse."
I'm I'm definitely being that guy who wears the same shirt every single time we play.
I do actually have one thing I would like to say. Loki and I, Josh and I, we have a book that is going to be in stores. I believe, is it tomorrow?
No, I think it's like late November, isn't it?
I think it's November 6th, but I could be wrong. Well, this month we have a book that's going to be released to stores nationwide. It is our first completed trade ever, which is the Skyline trade paperback. All 4 issues collected with some bonus material. Hit up your local comic book store and ask them to pick you up a copy of Skyline, Skyline, published by Source Point Press. And we can be happier that book is finally completely out, and you guys can get the full first chapter and read it yourself. So we're looking forward to it. It's 100 and how many pages, Josh? It was 150?
It was 130 plus like a couple extras.
So between 130 and 140 pages of amazing comic book content for you guys to read.
Solid.
Yeah. Other than that, let's dive into tonight's episode of Nat One Network. Roll the one. Brall the Strongheart, hit us with that sobering recap.
So I did do it in Brall's voice this time.
Hell yeah.
Upon noticing Thomas's condition worsening, we started working on potential antidotes to the poison until I was jolted by the memory of Efelus, a local plant capable of neutralizing the kind of poison secreted by Lox's species. After finding the plant and helping Thomas recover, we reviewed the encounter with the worm and decided it would be a good idea to not attack massive beasts without saying anything to the group first. We then headed toward the fog to investigate, and on the way, I was pleasantly surprised to see Cal come walking out of the tree brush. He revealed to us that he had encountered the strange woman from earlier who had lured him into her home in the middle of a forest clearing on her way to rescue the Satan 6 months ago. In this recent encounter, Cal told us he had his fortune read through tea leaves. The witch explained to him that the future seems uncertain due to the presence of interdimensional rifts, which seem to be popping up as of late. Cal went on to tell us he feels he can now detect those rifts if they're nearby, and that he might be able to move through time as a result. I'm calling this new ability Chrono Trigger. It has a nice ring to it. After a brief history refresher with Jericho, Cal asked Loki if he still had the quote-unquote spiked apple, which sounded like a great snack, if I'm being honest, or maybe the foundation for a delicious beverage. I'm hungry now. It's been too many hours since I last ate. But I digress. We spent a solid 10 minutes trying to figure out when the last time was that Loki pulled out the spiked apple, which was actually just an excellent opportunity for everyone to make so many dick jokes that I buckled over from laughter and couldn't stop crying. Loki finally did take it out and held it in front of Jericho's face as the pins protruding from the surface seemed to extend in a southwestern direction. After walking further, we arrived at the edge of the fog. I spotted a faint flickering light in the distance, and as we got closer, it became apparent that the flame belonged to a campfire surrounded by a few tents. The sun had set by the time we got within 100 feet or so of the camp, so Lux and I crept up and overheard someone singing a familiar tune. It was so catchy that I couldn't resist singing along, which unsurprisingly caught the attention of the individual singing. After he called out to the darkness, I stood up and approached to find out who this individual was and why he was out in the middle of the decimated forest. After I introduced myself, Jericho's suit appeared and did the same. The stranger then introduced himself as Jitnik. This man had long blonde hair and the lightest blue eyes I'd ever seen. He had fair skin, was wearing a yellow cloak with articulate patterns, and carried a banjo as well as a sash of arrows on his back. He had an airy charm about him, aloof, a tad mysterious. Jitnik explained to Jericho and me that they were attacked by followers of Semet on their way from Ahim to Sturgeon Point, unaware of the fate of their destination. Jericho asked Jitnik to sing the song in its entirety, and while I wasn't sure why at first, it soon became clear that the lyrics of the song seemed to resonate with the quest we were given by the horny man who crawls out of fireplaces, with respect to finding a certain sword. Jericho started inquiring about the sword mentioned in this song when an unusually tall man emerged from the main tent, towering above us. He introduced himself as Barnaby. He had a tall cone-like structure that seemed to be a part of his long, dark gray robes, accentuating his ash-colored skin. He spoke slowly and with intent, a master of subtle communication, this one. He exuded power in the way that he carried himself and clearly commanded a certain presence wherever he traveled. A powerful wielder of magic, no doubt. He invited us to stay. Getting ahead of myself again. He invited us to stay with a strangely calming tone. And shortly thereafter, Cal joined us from behind the main tent that Barnaby had just exited. Barnaby, however, did not even flinch, likely because he had been aware of Cal's presence before Cal even walked up. During the ensuing conversation, Barnaby disclosed to us that they had passed through the Canyon of Arn to pursue his archaeological interests while fleeing the Semet invaders in Ahim. He told us he was trying to find clues as to the whereabouts of the two halves of our own soul, life and death, light and dark. Barnaby and Jitnik soon retired for the evening, but not before inviting us again to stay, even offering their extra tent. We graciously accepted, but we decided to make camp out of earshot so as to discuss what we just learned and make plans for what comes next. Jericho, Cal, and I met up with the rest and deliberated on how to proceed. The most logical step seemed to be to head in the direction of the craters of our own, given our belief that we are in possession of one of the two halves of our own soul. Due to our distrust of Jitnik and Barnaby, we decided to leave before first light, taking turns at watch through the night. The night passed without a hitch, so we set out for the city of Ahim to get a taste for civilization again and prepare for our venture into the craters of Aron.
Well done, sir. Well done.
Very nice.
I think we lost Terry. 1 second.
Terry just said that he
He's
has
experiencing a minor power outage.
That's dangerous.
Very unlucky. Let me see here if he can. Could somebody respond to him and let him know that he could probably join through his phone?
Oh, interesting.
Ooh.
That is an option that he may have. With that being said, shall we begin without, or shall we wait a minute?
Well, I'd like to say how detailed Brall's
That was really good.
recap was.
Yeah.
Is it detailed enough, or is it too detailed?
I'm thinking we should have a channel. I'm thinking that we should have you actually pre-record your whole description, and that way people can actually watch that before the episode.
I will watch it.
Yeah.
Especially before,
Not a bad idea.
Yeah.
I'll have to get in the
like
habit
that it
of...
was the POV of Brall, and that like he didn't know what's going on back then, or what the other characters
call
were
it
doing.
the Brall Diaries or something like that.
I'll just have to get in the habit of writing it earlier than 2 hours before we go on live.
Give me 1 second. I'm trying to catch up with Terry really quick. 1 moment. It's coming back on. Waiting. Can use your phone. All right, so we can catch him up then when he hops back in. So the group wakes up, and you can notice arguably that the box is a little off right now, and he seems a little bit more secluded to himself. And you're all packing up camp. You look off in the distance, and where Barnaby and Jitnik were, you look over and you can see the makings of the tents. The smoke from the fire that was there the night before is going into the air, but it's more of a smoldering smoke, as if the fire has been put out for quite some time, but still kind of.
Is it still night?
No, it's day. It's morning.
Oh, because I wanted to make sure that we left before light.
Right. The sun's just starting to creep up. You guys are checking to make sure that they're still essentially asleep, no movement, and as you guys begin to gather, you head off in the direction of southwest.
Wait, no.
Did I sleep?
So it's southwest?
8 hours.
No, it's southwest.
Like towards the city.
Yeah, you wanted to go to Aron, or the crater of Aron. Him, excuse me. That was south.
And the crater's also southwest?
Yes. Crater's south.
You have to pass the crater to get
right next. You have to pass the crater to get to it.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're going to go to Ahim, resupply, see what the status of stuff is, and then prepare to go into the craters.
Wasn't the stone actually pointing southwest?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's not pointing at the crater.
We don't know that.
It's
in the general direction.
Yeah. Ahim is southwest, just from your knowledge of the land. You've never personally, I don't think you've personally ever been, maybe passed by at a time, but the direction of Ahim, and you know that the crater of Aron is by it through the legends that you've heard.
Okay, so it is kind of southwest as well, the crater.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys are like in the northeast of the continent right now, like the top right corner of the continent.
I thought we had gotten pretty close to the crater, though.
You are right now.
Yesterday, I almost said yesterday.
Give us a ping.
Yesterday.
On the map,
all my troubles seem so far away.
We can't afford it, Fred. We can't afford it.
Barnaby marked on our maps where the crater was and told us that that's where he was expeditioning.
We are so funny.
Roll 20 right now.
Yeah, we're like here.
All right, Lox is back. Lox is back. Here he is.
Yay!
Hey, everything good?
Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. Things went dark. It was a mistake.
Ooh, one sec. Your volume is crazy. It's crackly.
I kind of like it for his voice, though. It really fits with the frog character.
Your volume's a little crackly.
How's that?
It's very
Routers.
frog-like.
Try
Try unplugging and plugging back in. We're having some minor technical difficulties, folks.
This will all be
Shut
cut
up,
out of
Thomas.
post, right?
Any better?
Yeah.
Not really.
All right. Fun time.
While breaking camp, I'd like to take a quick minute to thread the rope I'm carrying, like the last 30 feet, through my net and tie it up so that I have the ability to cinch it shut, kind of like that.
Okay.
The ability to what?
Cinch it shut.
Oh.
The net.
One sec. Let's try to get Lox's volume up and running here. Are you good, Terry?
Trying.
Yeah,
That sounds better.
Is that better?
Good.
Okay.
Yeah, that's much better.
A lot
Okay,
of
so
my stuff had to reconfigure. So
where you guys are right now on the map, you are right about in this area right here.
That's quite a ways.
Correct.
Road trip.
So that is where you're at right now. I'm going to take my spot back, Lox. So as you guys are getting ready to go, Kyle, you're doing exactly what you just said. You're singeing at the moment. Lox, you feel a little disturbed, and you're internalizing the dream that you had, and it's kind of very off-putting to you, and you don't know, and you seem a little, in your mind, you're battling some inner demons at this particular moment in time. What is the group doing? Are you guys just taking off, or what's the goal here?
I'm walking in the direction of Ahim.
Well, so we have to now know, are we going to be walking in the same direction as these two?
No, because they were headed. Yeah, they were headed to Sturgeon Point and then Midrove.
So they were going north. Okay.
We can proceed to Ahim, as you call it, straight away, unless we want to stop at the
Like 7-Eleven.
I mean, we could possibly swing past it.
You are your day's journey is like you're probably a good, I would say, on foot. You're probably a good week away from reaching Ahim.
Yeah.
How many of you guys had experience in this area before?
It's been a while since I've been through here.
I've been through much
Is there
of
a
this
stable
area.
nearby?
Ooh, a stable.
Something nearby where we could.
Maybe like
I don't know if there's any villages close by.
there must be
area
there must
right
be an
now.
inn on the way.
You call a roll for history.
3.
All right, yeah, you're trying to remember the lay of the land right now, and
We hang out in this forest, and since it's all chopped down, I'm all,
It makes sense.
Can I recall anything from traveling with my father?
Roll for history.
Adventures?
Dadventures. Ooh, well, that's not much better.
Road trips.
Roll for
6.
6. Okay.
Did you add your history?
You remember stopping. You don't remember exactly where. It's in your ventures across from Onite over to the Sedan area. You did make some stops, and you remember that there was just a small little hut in the middle of the woods that you came across. a gentleman, but you don't really. It's kind of eluding you because you were traveling so fast paced.
Shucks.
Nothing, of course, worth trading.
So,
Loki,
should we journey on the
Loki.
road then, or through the forest?
Is there a road?
There is a road.
Loki,
that
maybe
you
there
guys
might
were
be
past
tracks
it.
on that road.
Yeah.
Your tracky thing.
A trackie on the road?
You know how you track hooves or whatnot?
I track many things, but hooves are usually not the hooves I think you're looking for.
It behooves you, you could say.
You're not the hooves.
Okay, I'm gonna have everybody roll.
I've never heard that.
Hoof.
Everybody roll for perception really quick.
when everyone rolls.
That's
There we
cocked.
go.
It's all downhill from here.
Oh, where's my character sheet?
That's
Natural
really
20.
bad.
13.
19.
Denal,
9.
Lox.
23.
Pretty good rolls.
Strong. Some very perceptive people.
9.
So as you guys are walking down this path together, going towards the southwest, the trees behind you that were all cut down and the fields of cut down trees start to disappear in the distance. You're now entering full brush vegetation. Almost it's very thick. The trees are hanging over the road. There's trees that have fallen all over the place. There's animals running about. Wildlife is returning to you guys. Yukalo, you're still tracking, and you're in your favorite area, if you will, in your favorite terrain, and you notice on the path quite a bit of footprints, almost as if like a good 400 or 500 people were marching on this path in the direction that you guys were coming from. So an opposite direction, as if they were going towards where you guys just left. But you're just starting to notice. You thought that the ground was just very rocky and torn up, and now the footprints are starting to really point themselves out to you, and you're noticing that you're heading in the direction from where a very large group once came from.
So we're so the large group went the way that way, and we're going that way.
You're right. You're going the opposite direction.
I rolled
it was an army of some sort. Are the footprints like soldier footprints, or are they like birds?
They look like they're in formation, marching. You're not too. They look humanoid to you, not bird-like, but many footprints. And then, Brall, what were you saying?
I was gonna wait until Cal was done.
Okay.
Go for
He's
it.
done.
I rolled a natural 20. I would like to find a small critter.
Okay, so with your natural 20, you notice that there's a path going off to the side. So the path you're on is actually splitting. You notice there's a small beaten path that isn't. It looks like it was more so like cut, and it's more of a. It's not like a road. It's just it's a path through the woods, if you will, where somebody cut a clearing. And just kind of looks like the trees are cut in half. You can see twigs that were snapped, almost with a cleaver, and it kind of goes off deep into this thick vegetation, veering to the right. Meanwhile, as you're looking, you see like rabbits and that are kind of around here still. Everywhere you go, you're noticing there's a lot of rabbits around.
I approach the nearest rabbit that I see.
Okay. So it's just kind of sitting there eating some grass. The grass is relatively tall on the side of the path that you guys are on.
I take out a carrot, some kind of root vegetable from my pack, and just kneel down to offer it to the rabbit.
So as you kneel down, the rabbit kind of gets a little nervous because you're getting close. It backs up a little bit, kind of looks at you, curiously sniffing about, looking at the carrot that you have in your hand that you're reaching towards it with.
I cast Speak with Animals.
Okay. Kind of looks at you, goes a little bit closer, and
are you going to speak to the animal?
What have you seen come through here?
I've seen so you can talk to me. Wait.
Aye.
That's you're a very large man thing, creature.
It's not something I hear often. But
to me, you're all very large.
Aye.
You have quite your paws are quite big.
They are. Yes.
Big paws.
They help me. They help me stay stable.
Oh, I've seen. Well, you asked what have I seen? What have I seen?
Yes. Have you seen? Have you seen other creatures like me come through here?
Grass, lots of grass. Creatures come through. Creatures come through all the time. I see deer. I see the tall-legged things with the little tail and the ears. There's the things with the teeth. They come out. They chase us. They try to eat us. But they're not too small. We're much quicker than them.
I take out my my warhammer and I say, "Have you seen creatures carrying things like this?"
But we saw the man. He had a thingy, like it wasn't quite like that. That's oddly shaped. The other thing was just kind of straight and kind of went through trees, or whatever the green shrubbery stuff is. Yeah.
How many moons ago was that?
Moons ago. He's. I don't think it was many moons. I don't think there was any moons. I think that was.
It was today.
It was. It was like now. It was. I thought he was with you.
That is interesting.
Thank
you.
Do you have more of those?
Absolutely. Have some more. Let me take out some more.
Good. Bethany and Brasilda will enjoy it. They'll be very happy. Thank you.
Oh, give my best to them.
I shall. And he puts the carrots in his mouth and he has them. No.
As this whole thing is going down, I'd like to kind of lean over towards Jericho and say, "Hi, Jericho. After sleeping on it, I kind of wanted to ask again. Are you sure you can't show me how to use one of the how one of those things work?" And I just point at one of his tinkerings.
Oh boy, Ucalo. If we get a chance by a campfire, I will show you how some of this stuff works. And if you can keep up, then we'll have some fun.
I mean, perfect. Everyone somewhere. Who taught you? Maybe at one point it was in invisible magic for you.
So, Ucalo, have you heard of what a school is?
Yes.
Do you know what? You heard of like a building where people go inside and they learn about things together? And I went to several of those, and then I went to what's called a university. It's called an arcane university, and I studied this. So studying is when you're learning something really a lot.
I don't much appreciate your tone there. It's awfully condescending, Jericho.
He got a master's in condensation.
Can I detect condescension from where I am?
You're still with the bunny.
Ukello, I'm sorry. I legitimately don't know if you know what schools are. It's I come from a different time and a different place. Did you go to school?
I did, as a matter of fact.
All right. So that's how I learned it.
So you had teachers.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is you can teach me.
I have the ability to teach. That is for sure. We can try sometime and see if you pick it up.
I'm okay with that. Maybe one day
All right.
I can take a level in artificer. Who knows?
Well, I will do my best. I really will.
You think you could invent us a way out of these sodden, time-fecked, Efelus-covered woods?
What? Like invent a way out of here? I think that we just keep walking southwest and we should be good.
Oh, okay. Right, you are.
Yeah. I tend to use my inventions more for more intense and immediate problems.
How did
Walking,
that come about?
we got feet for those.
Walking, yes, of course. You know what? Fine. You've been focused on letting everyone you meet here just know you're smart in some way or another. Ooh, inventions. And you are. In fact, I'm a right bit convinced that a cement worshipping git like you intends to stab us in the back. Why wouldn't you? I mean, you're smart enough to do so. You yourself have made it very clear that you will stop at nothing to see your family safe. But if you're so smart, do you know how you're going to do that?
Ukello, I'm smart enough to know that I know nothing about how I got here. And
Trick question. I'll tell you how. And it's not by faffing about in the Feywild for 2 years. You're going to do everything you can to assist us. You're going to be on such good behavior, we'll mistake you for Brall. If it comes to clearing out any more of your worshipping of your slavers' religion, you will not hesitate. You'll have all of our backs and we shall have yours. For if we have any shot at not allowing our timelines to collapse, we're going to need, fortunately, I think you're going to need us. And maybe, just maybe, if this doesn't end in tragedy, you'll be able to see your family again. And I honestly hope you do. So would it kill you to talk to me like I'm a living, breathing person and not some runny-nosed, green-eyed brat?
Well, I think I can give you that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I would not have liked leaving you out in these woods on your own.
Mic drop, bro.
Yeah. And if he asks you to play with your tinkering, you're gonna let him.
Now, Denon, let's not get ahead of ourselves. You already said he might show me a contraption or two.
I'm behind Ukello, just saying, like.
And now that we're all squared away.
Delivery's here.
Delivery.
Perfect timing. with delivery.
Whoa.
This episode is brought to you by
No.
No, just kidding. All right.
The letter E.
At this moment, Brall, the bunny bounces away. The cheeks full. You can see a very small baby bunny coming up to this bunny we were just speaking with, and then a very large, big, fat bunny that you can only assume is Bethany the bunny, and their little child kind of coming up, and it almost seems like Bethany is yelling at the bunny you were just speaking at, like, where were you? And now he lays out the carrots out of his mouth, and they grab the carrots and run off into the woods together, hop off into the thick brush together. At this moment, you look to your right. You notice that clearing that you guys were, that fork in the road, is probably what he was discussing with you.
I return to the group and let them know.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Who would know that rabbits have family problems, right?
Right. Just
is Thomas still with us?
Life is life.
They might have like a more developed society than we think.
You never know. Intelligence comes in many forms.
I hear they've got good eyesight.
They fuck a lot.
Yeah.
Did you learn that from speaking to them?
No, I mean you just watch. You just go around, fuck, go around some more, fuck.
You like to watch rabbit sex?
Yeah, you know. You can learn all kinds of things.
You just watch.
It's a pleasure.
Just
Is
watch
this
it.
science a pleasure? Hey,
Jesus.
So wrong.
I watch it. Naturally Geographic.
You'd be amazed by what you can learn about the mating habits of other creatures.
Yeah.
so science.
Yeah. Science.
Is Thomas
Seduction
still
is
with
an
us?
art, though.
Hey, DM.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Is Thomas still with us?
Thomas is still with you. He's just kind of tagging along. He's been quiet while you guys have been kind of been.
I did want to inform the group of the path and the fact that the bunny informed me that someone has very recently come through here. And it might not be a bad idea to see where this trail goes.
So, DM, do we see anything about any like visual that would determine what kind of creature has passed through? Is it just like a boot, or is it like a footprint?
So down that path, it's not like the path. The path you're on is a dirt road, essentially. The path that you guys are looking down, the vegetation is very thick and around it. There's trees all around the shrub, there's bushes and plants, and it's very thick vegetation. There's a path cut out through there that goes straight and then it bends around where you can't see anymore. And you can tell that on the ground, you can see cracked twigs and like small branches and leaves that are on the ground. And you can tell
What
that
is
somebody.
the size of the path? As in,
The size of the path is
halfling size,
narrow.
dwarf size. What?
It's narrow. It's a narrow path that you'd have to one by one go through. But you would all.
But is it like dwarf size or human size?
What does that mean? It's a dirt trail.
In terms of the width, you're saying?
Yeah, because if there was someone that was cutting through this space in order for them to get through, they would probably only be cutting at their height.
It's about a foot taller than Brall that you see going down that path.
So about 6 feet.
Yeah, right around.
Okay.
Brall, you're 5'2", right?
4'10".
4'10". Okay, so yeah, it's about 6 feet.
Okay. So I believe it's likely a human that's passed through here. Something that was at least human.
It is a little bit wider than all of you. I will say that the path's a little bit wider than all of you.
A heavy set human, probably. Coming close to the obese side of things.
Or like a Goliath.
Do you have like a body mass index measurement you could give us maybe?
42.3.
Perfect.
It's pretty big.
Loki, were there a lot of humans?
Were there a lot of humans? What?
The trail that you're looking at.
I believe it's only one.
Yes, the bunny told me it was just one.
Was it only Ukalu that noticed the footprints for the military?
Guys, look, an army's footprints.
Yeah, so they did their best to kind of like cover them up and like as if like they didn't want people to know. So like the footprints are there, but they're like dusted over, as if like they were being careful to like something was dragging behind them that's kind of brushing it as they walked to cover their track. But Yukalo, you now just started very much noticing it.
All right.
But this looks so. What you're saying is that there was some kind of force or an army almost that was going in one direction, but this person's going in another. Kind of created his own.
I'd like to cast Primeval Awareness.
Primeval Awareness. Can you read that to me real quick?
Yeah. As an action, I can expend 1 ranger spell slot to sense whether any aberrations, celestials, dragons, elementals, fae, fiends, or undead are present within 1 mile. The feature does not reveal the creature's location or number.
Okay. You sense undead.
Straight up.
You sense.
Okay.
Well, I'm just saying you sense a cold that is familiar to you, a cold that you felt previously when you were at the hag's hut. A similar cold.
Guys, I'm not entirely certain which path leads to where, but or certain at all of really either of those things. But what I am certain of is at least within a mile radius of us, there's something dark.
What do you mean? Dark.
You remember
How?
when we were visiting Jessica, and
the hag?
Your girlfriend?
She's not a hag, and she's not my girlfriend.
The lady hag.
They're all ladies, aren't they?
You remember how there were some? We got a feeling that someone was uneasy about the lumps.
Yeah.
It feels like that.
Okay.
Well,
so is this sense something that is generic? Or do you sense the exact same sense, like the exact
I sense the god
creature.
the god Aron at work.
Okay,
I
so I guess
I
that
start
we need
walking
to-
down the path.
We need to
the path
eyes open.
that was created.
So, Brall, as you're walking down this path,
All I'm saying is be careful.
you're walking quite some time. Probably a good. You're leading the way. Is the rest of the group following behind?
Well, I just want to actually point
hold
out
on.
that the last time someone, I'm not going to say who, the last time someone led everyone else into an unknown space,
Brall can't
there
hear
was
you
a
at
lot
this
of
point.
danger.
You're talking to the rest of the group in this moment as Brawl is venturing down the path. What is
Brall.
so?
Oh,
Hold, sir. Just a
Bro.
second.
I stop
Can you hear
walking.
me?
Yeah, he barely hears you shout out into the brush. So you stop. You're standing in this path. You look behind you. You've just turned the corner, and you don't see them, and you see the path kind of going into this jungly woods environment that you're in. So behind you, we lead back and forward. You continue down this path, but it's very twisty and snake-like. So there's a lot of turns that you're not able to see around. Meanwhile, you're waiting, and what's the rest of the group doing?
Make it fast, Loki.
make what fast? I'm just pointing out the possible wrongdoing of us following a path that we don't know where this leads.
Loki, we don't agree often, but in this case, I agree with you.
I would say this. Does anybody have a weapon I could borrow?
I've already restrung my bow, so I'll hand him my rapier.
Brall, the path that you're going down, is it the one that the human was going down, or the one with the army going down? Which tracks are you following, or where are you going?
The human one, the small path that was created today, and someone traversed it today.
I'm going with Brall.
Okay. Locke, so you fell through. You catch up with Brall. Brall's standing there. You guys kind of come head to head in the brush.
Oh,
I have a short bow.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
You're not using it?
No. Do you want it?
I could use both. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Whatever I can help with. Thank you.
Short bow.
I'll give it back as soon as I've acquired me.
I'll give him also 3 arrows.
Thank you.
It looks like they're just gonna go. So I think that it's probably best we all stick together if we are going to go somewhere. Splitting up is not an option.
Yeah, I'll be kind of chasing in toll, basically saying, Brall, are you sure that we want to just go down a path? Do you know what we're following or what we're looking for?
The individual who created the path.
That seems a little vague.
Why?
Because it just seemed a little odd that this path happened to branch off. Someone came down it today. I just happened to notice it out of the corner of my eye.
And Brall, I feel for you. I notice things out of the corner of my eye all the time, but maybe we could. Don't you want to check out the craters in the town, or we could continue down this?
Yes, that's a week's journey away.
Yep, we better get going.
This man makes it longer than a week.
So, Brall, you Lox is so the rest of the group is starting to file in. Then is that what you guys are doing, or
yeah, chatting as we're walking.
Okay, so the rest of the group comes up. Lox is kind of looking up at you at this moment, and you turn and you start walking down the path. You guys are walking for a good 30 minutes at this point, and it's amazing how deep and windy and snake-like this is. The trees, you haven't really, the sun is getting blocked out by the trees at this point. It's so thick, the vegetation. You come to a turn, and before you come to the turn, the bunny that you were talking to previously hops out in front of you, and he kind of like nudges, and like kind of like around the corner as you're focusing your senses. You can hear chopping. You're catching up to, and you know the person that has created this path is just around this turn, unaware of you guys.
I stop. I turn to Lox. Lox, do you think you can get a vantage point on this? Can you hear that?
I know I can get a vantage point on it. And I go.
Okay. Lox, so roll for stealth.
Natural 20 plus. No, I want to do this. Plus 29.
So you are a feather. You are literally, so you hop off the path, you climb up a tree, you jump to the next one, you climb over to the other, you're hopping around from tree to tree to tree, you turn about. As you turn about, you can actually see a clearing in the middle of these woods to the left of you. Probably a good maybe like 10 feet in the direction that you see this large man who's on this path. He's probably about 5'9", 5'10", that height, but he's probably about like 290, 280 in terms of like he's a big guy. Rolls his shirt kind of barely covers his chest. He's wearing this white and brownish muddy shirt that kind of comes down half, 3/4 sleeve. He has a long braid, just bald ever except for a long braid that comes from the forehead back down to his lower back. And he's just this big bellowing boulder of a man with this machete, and he's just hacking at the woods. And you can kind of hear him grunting, more trees after tree after tree after tree, more trees, hate trees, can't get out of these stupid freaking trees, as he keeps just bellowing away. And you're just kind of watching him do this, and he's very enamored in the work that he's putting into cutting his path through this forest, if you will.
Okay. Am I able to still see Brall?
Yeah, from your vantage point, you can see, so you're kind of perched up where the turn is. You're in a tree that looks this way and then that way. So you're kind of cornered in there, so you can see both vantage points.
Okay.
And I would be looking at Lox to see if there's any kind of signal or communication coming from him.
All right. So then I'm just kind of looking at Brall,
Mhm.
saying that one. Just what can I go?
Yeah. Okay. I start walking up.
So
Are we
So-
all behind them?
So Brawl, you
Right.
turn the corner. The rest of the group, are you guys following foot and foot, or are you guys waiting for Brawl? What are you doing?
I mean,
I look up at Locks and
I
see
think
him
that, yeah.
making these gestures. I guess.
So you guys are sticking close?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as you turn the corner, the rest of the group is kind of...
DM. I'm gonna cut into the woods, kind of flanking the party on the side.
Okay, so you cut into the right. It's very dark. I do want to point that out. There's beams of sunlight that are kind of coming through, illuminating the area dimly, but
If it helps,
very
I have
little.
nitrogen.
You're. I'm just letting the party know the setting here.
My
So
bad.
it's
I thought
dim,
you
it's
meant-
dark. You cut through. You're to the right. Locks is to the left. The rest of the group boulders through. Everybody's kind of looking over the next person's shoulder. And then Brawl, you're standing there. The man kind of hears a noise. He turns around with his machete. Jeepers, creepers! What the hell? What are you? What is this? What is this? Take it. Take whatever you want. Take whatever you want.
I hold up my hands.
You want this?
I hold
you
up
want
my
this? You want this? Take it.
I'm not here to harm you. I'm just curious what you're doing.
Had to get off the path. Wanted to get off the path. Grading about trying to find just I feel like there's a way through this way versus that way, because that way seemed like a very bad idea.
Why? Because of all the tracks?
You saw the tracks.
It's hard to miss all those tracks.
There's been Pray cement? Maybe, I don't know. Pray cement? Are you cement people?
Yeah, pray cement.
I promise I'm up to no funny business. I'm just.
What is your name, sir?
My name, Thump.
Thump. Brawlithal Strongheart.
Donald Thump.
Just Thump.
Like the rabbit stump.
Who's this Donald? This is Donald Thump.
Donald
Sorry, I thought
Thump.
I heard the name. Never mind.
Donald
I
Trump.
pull back my bow.
I know a Donald Trump.
Thump. What were you doing on the main road in the first place? Where were you going?
Well, I'm just looking for an area. Can I mean, this is kind of just trying to get my senses here. Are you? So he's a cement. No, I mean, with all due respect, are you all preachers of cement? Or?
No.
But no.
No. Just
No.
to reiterate, he's a guest. He's a welcomed guest. It's complicated. But you have nothing to fear from me. You have nothing to fear from him. I stumbled upon this path that you've been making, and out of curiosity, I came to see what you're doing.
I came from the Madrove, fled from the Madrove, and rather being, I've been venturing this way, trying to get to I guess there was an area, something over here that the word was traveling about of a town or a fort that I can find some solitude in. And
So you
Solitude.
know of
just
an encampment nearby, or
safe place.
I think you're using the wrong word. Solitude.
A quiet, safe place is, I guess, the an area in this. I don't know. Travelers, it's been word of mouth. Anyways, after the Madrove fell, I was able to flee, and I'm just trying to start over, if you will.
what do you mean
You're
after?
fleeing now?
Well, I mean, everything's gone now.
What do you mean everything's gone?
What happened to Madrove?
Well, they took. They took my wife. They took my child. They took everybody.
this
And they-
cement.
Yeah, well, are you guys living under a rock?
Basically, yes. That's a much simpler way of putting it than explaining what's actually happened.
Well, yes. I mean, they came, they grabbed everybody, put them on the boats, and left.
And so, how did you get away? And
Well, as my home was burning to the ground, my wife was screaming and being pulled by 10 soldiers. I mean, it was suicide to. Anyways, I was able to leave. It was not that I was. I'm just lucky, if you will, but I'm not too lucky. I'm very unfortunate, if you will, and I would very much like to be reunited with my wife, but it would have been suicide, and then my son would have just been. I'd rather him be alive than dead, and I feel like it, and without a father, there's some hope left that I can find him being alive versus dead. So I chose to regroup, and I heard there was fighters up here in the place of safety.
And how long ago was that?
Well, this was just, maybe 2 weeks. 2 weeks ago, this happened.
So your cowardice left your son and wife with the Semet followers who are known to murder anyone who does not see their way. And you are telling me
you hold your tongue, sir. I'm no coward. You would have done the same in my situation, and trust me, I would gladly give you know nothing about me. I would gladly give my life for my family, but it would have been folly. We've been folly in that moment. We outnumbered thousands to just a few of it. I don't know if you know anything about where I'm from, but the whole town was under supervision. We were living day to day in essentially a ghetto, and they decided to round everybody up and take them. And there was thousands of them. There's nothing I could have done. I would have just given my life, and my family would have taken anyways. At least now I have a fighting chance. I can regroup with. I guess there's some warriors.
So where are they now? If you have no idea where they are now, then you have no hope of finding them. How is that not cowardice?
The boats went north.
And what boat do you have?
I'm running away. I'm running towards. And I don't really appreciate your tone, sir. And then you came on my path, found me while I was going about my day, trying to figure out where, I don't know what your problem is, but...
Hey, trying to figure out what? What are you looking for here?
Looking for a place to hide right now and sleep.
All right, I'm on Loki's boat. That you're a coward. Well, this was a fun trip. What do you say we all... Making motions to...
Yeah.
Sorry,
sir. What is your name?
And I do apologize if I come off rude. You're the first people I've seen in days, and in terms of that haven't been trying to kill me, hunt me, or a creature trying to eat me. I'm not very. I've been living in my house for years, and I'm not much of an outdoorsman, if you will. But I do know that this path was here. And I'm re-clearing it, if you will. You can tell that the woods were weak in this particular area, and it's regrown. And I do know a path when I see one, and this path leads somewhere. And I would venture it's not too far away.
Lux, what do you see? Do you see anything?
What do I see?
Well, you see there's a clearing about 10 feet through the bush that he's been hacking away at. So if he keeps hacking in about 10 feet, he's going to come to a clearing. In the clearing, you see there's shrubbery, and it kind of looks a little decayed inside, but it's a round clearing, and you see shrubbery. The trees are kind of bent over a little bit. Everything just kind of seems a little... I don't know. Everything just seems a little bit like not as vibrant, a little grayish. But there's a stone that's overtaken with vines.
Is there any like decay going on?
So
well, you wouldn't know that yet, right?
You can't see over
He
there.
has feeling.
Yeah, from your vantage point, Yukalo, you've been cold this entire time. So your skin has been on. It feels like everything's maybe like 5-10 degrees cooler than it actually is at this moment. And is specifically still in this area that you're in.
Is Thump is a human, right?
Thump is a human, yes.
Loki, I see the same shit, just less trees.
Listen, I don't know who's. There's more of you.
He's our eyes.
Listen, well, Thump's gonna clear a path, and Thump's blade sings like sirens of the foggy sea, and I'm going to clear this path, and you can either hop on the train or get off. And I don't really. It doesn't bother me none at all.
Just gonna push past him and make my way through the clearing.
So I take out my great axe and start hacking
and
away.
Just not caring about this guy anymore because
Mr. Thumb.
I have no respect.
Mr. Thumb.
Why are we?
Okay.
Mr. Thumb.
Yeah.
This is Thomas. This is Thomas. Thomas, this is Thumb. You two will get along. And I keep walking.
Kind of overlooks Thomas. What's the deal? Oh, well, a lot of them are quite, I don't know how to say it. They're a lively bunch. They kind of seem like dicks. I mean, I didn't do nothing to them. Well, I would say they'd warm up to you, but they don't really warm up to really anybody. They kind of grow colder, to be honest with you.
Warmed up to me.
They both look at you at the same time, and then they look at your eye, and they're just,
they have the same face. The same hat.
So as you push through, Loki, the path actually begins to open up this wall of vines. You guys kind of cut through, and then it opens up the space. Now you're in an opening, and the space between the trees grows thinner and thinner as you weave your way along a path. This path now is more so cut by beast as opposed to man. You notice that it looks like large animals have kind of made this path, not actually humans.
Beasts, but like regular beasts, not
not like monstrous beasts,
not like fiends or anything.
As you stray farther from the main road, the immense canopy of trees overhead begins to block out the sunlight again, bathing the woods in a mossy green, gray hue. The trees twist into menacing shapes, and thorny vines and bushes near impenetrable should once stray from the path. So basically, you're kind of blocked in now on this path. It's so thick, these thorns that you're on, that you're forced to kind of go forward. And then you enter into this wall that kind of stops you. I'm gonna have the group make a perception check real quick.
What is the wall made of?
It's made of like rose. It's like a rose thorn wall. A wall made of roses and thorns.
Roses and thorns.
23.
Okay.
16.
Also, as we're walking, I just want to be like, oh, this seems less of where I want to be. Getting menacing, I guess. The trees look more aggressive in this area. I'm already not that big of a fan of nature, but especially aggressive looking nature.
They do look rather defensive, which intrigues me more.
Intrigue.
DM,
so there's is there no way through it?
Reminder, while traveling for an hour or more, if there's difficult terrain, it doesn't slow us. We can't. No, group can't be lost except by magical means. I myself, while I'm separate from the party, remain alert to danger even when engaged in another activity and can move stealthily at a normal pace. So I'd like to remain concealed.
Okay.
We're all walking and you got like a bush around you.
I have a robe from the thorn bush. Maybe twos.
So the group rolled what for your perception? Sorry.
I rolled a 23.
23. Brall?
9.
9. Yukalo?
13.
Loki?
16.
Lox?
21.
15.
Jericho?
23.
Okay, sorry. Okay, give me 1 second here. I need to check my notes.
Okay.
It's good to know that he actually has notes on this, so we're not just. He's like, there you see.
Hey man,
birds.
When you notice a path with a natural 20, sometimes you just gotta take it.
Yeah, you guys are hit at that.
So as you guys venture, so you come up to the wall. You notice to the right of the thorn wall is these stones that are kind of set up. Like you have a large stone, a smaller stone, and a very small stone. Almost like balancing. You ever go down to Seaport Village? You see the guy that balances the rocks.
I've seen
like the hiking rocks.
before, yes.
Yeah, the hiking rocks that are the people set up. You see that is marking what looks like a little bit of a path to the right now, where it kind of cuts across. You see, so following through, you guys kind of pushing through to the front. Thump kind of goes to the front, and he looks over to the right, and you see these stones. And he looks over and he kind of kicks those stones over, and he goes, "Man, not that way. We should go this way through. We should go this down and go this way."
Can I make an check afar to see if he's wrong?
Yeah, make an insight check. Make an insight check.
Because you don't
and
get
that would
lost.
be a natural one. I'm lost in the shrubbery.
So as you're kind of like looking through, you're actually on the other side of this wall of bush, and you're kind of leaning in to see what he's saying, and you can't really hear. And you kind of fall forward, and you kind of get stuck a little bit in the bush, and you shake it, and the bush starts to shake on the other side. And Thump kind of backs up. He's like, "Oh, there's hell no!" And he just bellows through you guys and runs away from all of you back down the path that you guys just came back down.
Like in the opposite direction?
Yeah, the path that you guys just came and he ran away. And so now you guys are left standing here. You have a wall of thorns and roses, and then to the right you have these set of rocks that is kind of showing a path that's going to the right. So you have two routes you can go at this moment in time.
So either right or left?
I guess I popped my head out of the thorn bush. Surprise!
I'm down to go the direction that the stones were on.
I mean, the stones seem like they'd be the better direction, but
I disagree. I think the direction that the guy we followed in here just ran is the right direction.
I'd say so. Why did
well, I guess if there's any traps, then he would be the first to hit them, right?
No, he ran the opposite. He ran out. He ran away.
He ran out.
He retreated.
Yeah, you were entirely correct, Loki. He's a coward.
Yes.
I mean, if he was scared of some rustling after hacking away in a forest, like what do you expect?
Yeah.
So you guys
could have just been Brall's bunny friends.
Yeah, could have been anything. He was lucky it was me.
What was that, DM?
So who's standing in front right now? Is it Brall? So Brall, as you look to the right, the path on the right, you can kind of see you pull back some vines, and it's a pretty wide open path for the most part. You see it's basically a twisting trail, bristling with undergrowth. It's somewhat illuminated by beams of light that are kind of crackling through, but you notice that the vegetation seems a little bit more dead. But you can almost faintly hear a sound, almost a talking, coming from further down this path. It sounds like a cry, if you will, but you can't make out the words.
Guys, do you hear that?
Yeah,
there's a voice up ahead.
Said it sounded creepy and that I was getting a bad feeling about this.
I head off in that direction.
Take some precautions, Brall.
Wait, what is happening?
I get my net and I throw it over Brall before he can get too far away, and then I cinch it. If that, do I have to make a check to do this?
Yeah, you're gonna have to roll for you have to beat the
snaring.
Yeah, roll for attack.
Roll. Is it an attack?
Roll for a d20.
Yeah, I guess net is. Let me see what net is. I get a +8 to net, so that's a dirty 20.
And you roll with disadvantage with nets.
Why?
Because the close range is, I think, within 5 feet, and long range is 15 feet.
So, oh, you're right. You're right.
The range is nets to nothing.
That's 2 12s in a row, so nice. That's a dirty 20.
We're in a really tight space though, too, right?
What's your armor, bro?
17.
So as you start running, you get about 10 feet out. This net comes flying and landing over you, and then you trip and fall about 5 feet forward. And then you land on your side, and you can hear Yukalo kind of come up from behind you. But in front of you, you can hear, "Help me! Help!"
God.
I'm already wielding my great axe, so I take a whack at the net.
Wait!
Oh no!
Okay, roll.
I say
roll
wait.
D20. Roll D20. Roll.
My one net.
12.
I assume the rest of us are just.
So you kind of pull up your axe, and it cuts a hole in the net, and then you kind of pull your way through. And you're standing up now, and you're facing.
I'm gonna tackle. I'm gonna tackle Brall.
I was gonna say, if he's trying to get out, I'm jumping on top of him. So
as he stands up,
both of us are jumping on top of him.
On top of him. Both Yukalo and Loki roll a d20 with advantage. Roll strength. Strength.
Natural 20.
Roll a strength check.
Natural 20.
Ah! Whoa!
I also got one. Loki, what'd you get?
Loki.
I'm
going for a grapple.
What?
I had 15.
It would be a natural 20 plus 3.
Okay, so Loki, you jump on Brall, but he shrugs you off, and you kind of land on your back. Yukalo, you jump, and you guys are kind of grappling together. Both of you roll a strength check, just even strength.
As we're there, I say, "What are you doing?" That's a 12.
Somebody needs our help. They're calling for help.
Did you never learn anything from the mine? We just came from a mine.
You know what I learned from the mine? Don't taunt very large creatures.
How do we know that this isn't a mimic or something mimicking a voice?
We don't. There's only one way to find out.
Both of you roll your 20 real quick.
Yeah, I got a natural 1.
He's subdued.
Yukalo?
I got a 12. So
okay, that'll be enough. So as you guys are pushing with all your might together, your heads are like literally right on top of each other. Brall, you are wanting to move forward. You can hear the cries for "Help me! Help! Help!"
Brall,
and then,
we'll check it out. Okay, but let's be cautious about this. Let's go with a little bit of stealth.
So DM, as they were doing all that, I would have liked to have snuck past all of them towards the cries.
Okay. So you sneak forward as you two are bantering back and forth. Brall, are you okay? Can you hear us?
All right, now I'm back.
Okay, so Yukalo has you pinned on the ground right now, and he's talking to you. As that happened, Lux has moved forward and is now Lux. You go down the path. You come to a clearing. This clearing is completely wrapped in thorns and vines, and in the center is this giant rock formation, and you can see glistening inside these vines. You hear help, and you can look, and you're staring at these vines, and you see this red gem that is inside the vines that are wrapping around this rock. And it's almost shining, and there's a beam of light that's just hitting that gem. And it looks like it's attached to something, and the sound is coming from that direction.
How far away from the gem am
I? You are right now. 1 moment. So you are about 70 feet.
I want to shoot the gem.
Okay. Roll.
Uh, 18 to hit.
1 moment.
Furiously writing down stat block of gem.
Yeah.
Okay. As you shoot the gem that's wrapped in thorns, the actual arrow goes flying forward, and the thorns begin to move. So the arrow finds its target, but it doesn't. It skims the gem, and then it beds itself inside the thorn. So this thick thorn bush is around it. All of a sudden, the vines begin to unwrap itself from the boulder, and standing there about 7 feet tall is this giant vine blight, and its arms are massive, and the vines are dragging on the ground as it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and then sticking out of it, you see a sword, and it has a red gem, and it's just stuck in the top of its right where it's what do you call it? It's what kind of think of the trapezoid is, and it's looking at you, and it can kind of coming from that sword, you can hear that, help me,
from the sword.
From the
sword.
All right. Before he saw me, I would have wanted to use my bonus action to hide. As I saw the vine start to move.
Okay, so as it's unraveling and the vines are kind of moving about and forming this giant blight and taking form in this humanoid figure, and its arms are super long, and its head is kind of cocked to the side where the sword is kind of stuck in. Doesn't look like the sword is meant to be there, and its head kind of is to the side. As you back up and you go to hide, you're kind of stuck in this wide open. There's not really many places to hide, to be honest, but you try to kind of blend in. As you do, you can see the vines around you begin to move as well. And at this moment, you see something kind of pulling itself out of the circle, and it's another blight but made of twigs. And you can see just kind of twigs jettisoning out, and it's very entish, if you will. And then another and another, and suddenly you're surrounded in this area, and there's multiple blights standing around you. But you're kind of tucked away, and they're searching for you.
So I want to lean over and say, while I'm watching them wrestle each other with the nets and stuff in front of me, I want to say, you know how you would hear ghost stories and you wonder, how could people be so stupid to enter a situation where they're just obviously going to die and they just keep marching towards danger even when every sign says they shouldn't be? Lox? Start looking around. Lox?
Bro, you cut me bloody neck. It was the only head.
It was
at least I know my crap works. I look pointedly at Jericho and I say, who knows what I'll invent next.
Wink.
Do we hear the blights from the ground?
You hear crackling coming from the right.
Like
at
a lot of movement.
A lot of movement.
What is
So
that?
I'm definitely at unease. I want to take out my Eldritch Cannon.
Okay.
Oh, seeing
and I'm going
pull out my gun.
Let go of Brall. Release him.
I'm gonna light my crimson right as well.
I got a bad feeling about this.
Should I burn and everything?
All right.
I unsheathe the spear.
Lox, as the group is kind of like venturing, you guys are kind of walking down this path now very cautiously. Lox, what are you doing? You're kind of surrounded right now. From your vantage point, you see 3 blights that are made of twigs. And for those of you that don't know what a blight is, it's essentially like a humanoid made of, of a certain, element, if you will. So you have twig blights, needle blights.
Kind of like the swamp monster.
Right,
or a dryad.
It's Groot.
It's
Yeah,
it's like Groot.
Here, 1 second.
But not cute.
I'm Groot.
Like a Skyrim Spriggan.
Yeah, Spriggan, dryad.
Like that.
Yeah.
So that's what you are seeing.
A teenage Groot.
That is this particular creature is a twig blight. And then 1 second here. And then the needle blight.
A tiny little one.
Looks like this.
Ooh.
Very brooding.
And then the vine blight looks like this. So this is what you're surrounded by right now. So there's 3 needle blights, 3 twig blights, and 1 vine blight. And the vine blight has the sword jettisoning out of its trap right here. And then you're in an area that is completely encompassed with vines in a circle. So it's impossible to get out of this clearing unless you go back out, which is the way you came. And then smack dab in the center is this giant stone that has a crack in it. And you're kind of just pinned up against the wall right now of these vines as they're kind of all jettisoning out and just kind of slowly shifting around and coming to form. What would you like to do, Lox?
And I'm not in initiative or anything like that, right?
Not at this moment, no. You kind of just woke them. And they're just kind of searching around. But meantime, you hear coming from the sword, "Hey, help me!"
All right. Do I have a clear sight on all these guys? Are they all? And all right, 2 questions. How tall is the wall? And do I have a eyesight on the?
The wall is almost like a dome. So the vines are a dome that's kind of going over this entire area.
Oh, so there's
very little sunlight. Some beams are kind of crackling through. And then you're the only way out is the path you came. You can kind of hear sounds coming from that where you kind of assume that your party might be coming. You hear something coming unless it's another blight. But you're kind of surrounded at this moment.
All right. Well, I came in here alone for a reason. Had a bad dream, so the one with the sword sticking out of it, I'm shooting it.
Okay.
My internet was cutting out before. What's my situation?
You're upstanding right now, and you guys are on your way towards Lox.
Gotcha.
Hold on, I forgot to open up my cheat sheet with all my stats and stuff. I got a 19 to hit minus, so 15 to hit.
15 to hit does hit.
Okay. So 11, 22, 32. So 37 damage and 5 poison. If it gets poison.
So as you draw your arrow, you see this vine Blight just kind of twisting and like he's reaching for the sword as like, help me. And he goes to reach for it. And this arrow comes flying forward and it turns its head. The arrow goes straight through, cutting a hole directly through the forest, snapping the vines back. And the vines actually spread out the back of its head as the arrow ejects through. The vine blade falls down, and then everything just kind of loosens up, and the vines fall to the ground loose. No longer taking the form of like a humanoid form. They just kind of fall and unwrap themselves, and now you have this pile of vines at the ground. Jettisoning out is the sword. Well, that was quite the shot. I think you're very well aimed. I can tell that you're quite skilled. You did a very good job there, Bello.
Oh no, it's Thomas as a sword.
Is it a sword or is it a person? What am I seeing? It's just a sword.
Yeah, that was quite the shot there. I can tell you have quite the practice. I bet you can't do it again.
It's a sentient.
Can I walk over to the sword?
As you venture the sword, the rest of the blights are kind of narrowing in on you. And now I'm going to have you roll for initiative.
All right. How far away is the sword? Just I should have asked, but
you're about 60 feet away from it.
Okay, all right.
Are we rolling as well?
Yeah, everybody can roll for initiative.
Yay!
19 initiative.
Okay. 19 initiative. Second.
13.
Okay.
I'm rolling like shit today.
So just so I have a visual, sorry. The other blights are behind me, in front of me, towards the sword. Where
they're all coming out of the they're kind of encircling the stone. So they're all coming out of the vines that were making up this dome that's going over the rock that's in the center. So the rock from you is about 70 feet from the entrance that you came from, and you're about 10 feet to the right, leaned up against the dome of vines that's going over.
And we don't have direct line of sight towards this, right?
No, you guys are kind of going through. You see a hole of vines that you guys are about to pop out through, but you don't know what you're entering into at this moment.
Okay. And what is the closest blight to me? How far away?
The closest blight from you right now is about 30 feet to the right, directly to the right. They're all circling this stone, but they're just coming out of the wall at this moment.
Got it. All right, then, if you don't mind, my movement towards the sword, I'm just going to make it a movement towards the closest blight and jump right on it.
Okay, so you venture to the right then. You kind of step up and you hop up, and then what are you doing?
I'm just hopping right on it. So I guess it'd be a grapple.
Yeah, okay. Roll for grapple. What was your initiative, though, that you rolled?
19.
19. Yukalo?
8.
Loki?
23.
23. Danon?
13.
13. Brall?
14.
Jericho?
15.
16? Sorry. 16?
Yeah.
Okay.
Should we take a quick break?
1 second. Might not. We'll see. Give me a minute. All right. So as you run, roll for grappling.
One more time.
Roll to grapple. Roll 20.
I got a 15.
15. Okay. So you jump on top, and you are perched up on top of this twig blight that is standing. He's just kind of swelling around and just kind of trying to reach you, but you're just kind of jumping from side to side to side around his head as he's trying to reach for you. The sword is calling out to you. I promise you I can help you. Why don't you come over here real quick, and I'll do you a favor.
Okay.
And then the rest of the group, you guys kind of come bellowing through. You see Lox to the right of you as you come in about 30 feet from you, standing on top of this this twig blight, jumping around as it's spinning in circles. Meanwhile, the sword you see in the pile of vines that is right by the rock in the center, about 60 feet from all of you. And then you see multiple bullets just kind of stumbling in, moving forward towards Locks from the other side around this dome that's made of vines. The dome goes up probably about 100 feet in the air to the top of the tree line. And it's all vines, and some light is getting through, but very little. It's very dark in here. And here is where we will take our first break.
Yay.
For the game. Everybody take 10, and we'll be back in 10.
Woohoo!
Discord server?
Discord server.
Yeah.
Make sure we're muted here.
Yeah, mute yourself. If you guys need to talk in the private chat real quick, and we'll be right back. Everybody, I just wanted to take this time to let you all know that on Mainframe Comic Con, we just got done doing Baltimore Comic Con, and it was a great success. We have some really cool things coming your way. So if you could please take the time and subscribe to this channel, we'd greatly appreciate it. I would also like to talk to you about a show that I'm going to be launching that's going to be live on Thursdays. We're going to be talking about movies, upcoming movies, upcoming TV shows, basically anything to do with pop culture. I have a rundown of some of my favorite movies, go into deep dives. I think we'll start with Dune, which is a book actually I'm currently reading and almost done with, and I wanted to dive into some of the movie that's going to be coming out slated for next year. I just wanted to show you all the intro to the show, and I hope to catch you live next Thursday. Probably helps to remove that. All right, guys, welcome back. So as we left off, everybody good to go? We're good to start? Oh, you're muted. Everybody's muted. Unmute yourself.
Yeah, we were.
Hello,
sorry, we were in
Brall.
Discord.
Okay. All right, so let's get started here.
Ready.
Are we ready?
Do we need a roll 20 up?
So
Okay.
No, we're going to do theater of the mind. So we're going to do a little theater of the mind. So next is going to be after Lox is going to be Loki. So you enter in. You're standing to the right of you, about 10, 15 feet is another. You see this giant twig blight just kind of moving closer and trying to swat Lox off. And across from you see two other blights, and then this giant stone. And in the middle, you see on the ground is these vines with a sword sticking out. Hey, quick! Hey, you! Why don't you grab me?
What?
How long has it been since you heard that, Loki?
I high five Brall.
I hear it all the time in my head. I never listen to it.
Oh,
Don't give in to temptation.
All right, Loki, what are you doing here?
The closest blight, that's not the one that Lox is on top of, I will fire an arrow at.
So the one that Lox is not on top of, you're saying the closest one, you're gonna do what?
Fire an arrow.
So across from you is a blight that's coming out of the vines, and you're gonna fire one at the twig blight that's coming from across from Lox then?
I mean, is there one that's kind of close to me that I think would be in danger of hitting me?
Okay, so I'm going to show you.
how close
Okay,
are
so I'm
all
going to
these?
show you a map really quick. Okay? This
This
is the area you guys are standing in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Can you make your screen big?
Yeah.
That's what she said.
What? Your screen? What does that mean?
Okay, so you are in this area right here. Okay. Don't pay attention to these words. And you guys are all standing by the entrance right here that just came through.
Mhm.
Lox, you are down here, the blight. And there is blights encircling all of this like that.
It's almost like infinite.
There's 6.
6.
Yeah. And to the left. So when you walk in, there's one to the left, one to the right, and they're just kind of all on the outskirts. In the middle is the stone, and then you have the sword that's sitting in a pile of vines right now.
Sword in the stone.
Sword
Yeah,
in
I'm
the
gonna
stone.
fire an arrow at one of the blights.
Okay, so you turn to the left, you pull your fire arrow. It's fire, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you fling it back. Roll for attack.
15.
15 hits.
Cool. So that is this. Wow. Oh man, that's horrible. Just so you know, it was a 1 and a 1. But with my bonus, so it's 5 regular damage and 1 fire damage.
Okay. So as you pull back, arrow lands, jettisoning into this twig blight's leg. It starts to smolder. The leg catches on fire briefly, but its arm comes down, passes out, knocks your arrow out of its leg, and you can kind of see like this black ooze kind of coming down the twigs and running down to the ground. And it kind of looks over at you and begins to like slowly move its way towards you.
Okay.
You said 5 damage, right?
5 regular and 1 fire. So 6.
So as it starts coming at you, it falls forward, and then the black ooze kind of starts spreading, like this tar like starts spreading around it, and then your arrow that is swatted out catches flame, and then the oil, the whole thing goes up in flames. So you caught it on fire.
Cool. Now it's on fire.
Yeah.
Lovely. That is my turn.
Okay. Next after Loki is going to be Lox again. Because you had a round of attack or opportunity of attack.
So I'm gonna use my bonus action to disengage and just jump straight up and fire an arrow down at it.
Okay. Roll for attack. Roll. Oh, sorry. You used the actions to disengage, right? So you get that automatically, and then roll for attack. Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know why I always switch my stuff around.
You're fine.
16 plus 7 is whatever that is. Sorry.
23.
23.
23 hits, and then roll for damage.
Well, 16 plus 2 poison, if it's poison.
As you jump up, it's reaching for you, and then you pull your arrow back, drawing it. The arrow goes flying forward, landing as it's kind of right through his mouth, falling backwards, and then the twigs all crumble and splatter about, and now there's a bunch of kindling on there.
Okay. What's the closest blight to me now?
As you are in the air, so right now you're mid-air. Are you trying to?
I'm just landing right back down.
So you come back down to the ground. You look. The closest blight to you is about 30 feet in front of you, towards the wall.
Okay. I'm gonna charge it, screaming.
Okay.
Ah!
Roll for intimidation.
I did roll a 20. I don't. Hold on. I think I have a minus something. Oh no, I got a plus 3, so 23.
Okay. So as you yell at it, it's a needle blight that you're actually yelling at. It kind of like gives you like this look. Its chin kind of chisels out a little bit more. Its mouth drops down, and it takes a step back, and then back again, and then back into the wall, and then it just kind of becomes one with the vines that you're looking at. So it disappears, but you can kind of see its eyes in the wall, just kind of like looking at you, but it's blending in with the with the rest of the vines that are encompassing this giant dome.
Okay, that's me.
Okay, and then after Lox is going to be Jericho. So Jericho, right. You see all this kind of going around about you, and then again you hear coming from the sword. I promise you, I will help. I can help you. Just pick me up.
Is there? Where are these other dryads?
So they're all again. They're around the border of this dome.
Like, how close is the closest one to me? That is.
There's 60 feet. So now they're 60 feet out. The ones that were 30 feet are now killed, and then the next are 60, and then you have another that are 90 feet.
All right. I'm gonna, if my Eldritch Cannon needs to move in order to get a clear view at the next one, just want to aim at the closest one. Say, Eldritch Cannon, fire your shot, blow it into smithereens.
Shoot your shot.
Okay, I love it.
Let's see. That would be. Oh, it's a dexterity saving, actually.
That is going to be a 12.
I don't know what you're measuring that against. Hit DC is a 14 dex.
So, yeah, so it's a hit.
Yeah. All right. And D8. What we got, baby. 2D8 force damage. We got a 5, so 10.
So the other needle blight, looks at you, and then this wave of energy bellows out of this cannon, and then you can see the air just kind of flying at the blight. Blight kind of like begins to shift back. It hits it, and all of a sudden, all these pine needles just burst into 1,000 different directions, and then it is no more. They fall to the ground.
Nice. I say, Eldritch Cannon, your shot strikes true. And then I want to run to the sword.
Don't touch it.
And before I touch it, I want to reach my arm out to whatever the closest dryad is. And I want to cast Firebolt. So a little gun pops out of my sleeve.
So as you reach your arm out, you see like this thing jettison out, and it's got like this like smoke coming out of it, and like this liquid. So you press it, you see this little bulb, and like all of a sudden you see like this gasoline liquid kind of flying out forward, and you roll to attack.
17 to hit.
That'll hit. Roll for damage.
And will be 1d10. So 4.
Okay. So this needle blight, it's peering at you. Twig blight is peering at you. As you unleash your fireball, this liquid goes jettisoning out, landing on, still in the air, landing on the needle blight, hitting its chest. All this flame erupts from the cannon, lighting up a line of this liquid, and it hits true to the almost like a flamethrower. Hits true onto the twig blight, and as you're moving it, you're kind of going up and down, and the flame is kind of moving with you. And it cuts this X, and then it falls back on fire, erupting, and then it just kind of disperses, dead.
Nice. And my turn.
My descriptions weren't the best on that one. All right, so you're done. Are you grabbing the sword or no?
No, I'm not. I was told not to.
Okay. And then there's only one blight, and that's in the that is back into the encompassing itself into the dome. So that's the only one that is left at this moment in time. And then turn-wise, it is Brall, your turn.
So I'm going to run towards the center and just throw a javelin at the remaining plate.
So you see its eyes kind of shifting back and forth. It is in the wall trying to like hide itself, but you see it clear as day. Roll for attack.
15.
15 hits.
Six damage.
Okay. As you throw the arrow, it jettisons into its ribcage, unbeknownst to yourself, because you just see all vines, and then it falls forward, landing, looking up at you. It just kind of cocks its head, and then after you, anything else you want to do?
No.
Danon, your turn.
Okay. So there's only one left.
Only one left. Is laying face first on the ground right now, It just fell out of the vine dome and is laying on the ground looking up at you. Or looking up at the direction of Brall, rather, but you're standing right next to him.
Okay. But it's really
It's about
close.
from you. It's
right?
80 feet from you.
Okay. I will hold my action. I'm gonna prepare firebolt, and as soon as we can flee, I'm gonna release it and try to burn everything.
Okay. And then after Yudon is Ukala.
So how far away is the closest one?
There's only one left, and it's 80 feet away from the entrance where you guys are standing in right now.
All right. Let's see. And who's out of our party is closest to that one?
That would be Locks right now, is the closest to it. Meanwhile, Jericho's standing next to the sword, and sword is still kind of talking like, I mean, you guys are doing all of this. I can help. It's cool.
Can I
promise.
Hear the sword?
Yeah, you hear it.
All right. So first I say, Danon, please don't burn down my forest. And then I run over to the fire, the remains of the one that Loki lit on fire, and I dip the rapier in it, and then I start to just try to put it out as the rest of my turn.
Okay. So the fire that you're putting out, roll for.
Oh. Okay. Yeah.
20.
Nature or something?
Yeah, I'd say nature. Roll for nature. That's a good one.
Survival. Oh my god, so many 4s. I got
you're having
one to that, so it's a 5.
So it's not spreading relatively quick. It's kind of smoldering out a little bit, but it is still there.
I just say, remember the Feywild! And I just start kicking dirt over it.
And then after Ukala is the Blight. The Blight is going to stand up, and it is going to take a step forward, and it's going to begin moving towards the stone where Jericho is, and it's going to reach out and it's going to use Entangle. 1 second. Actually, excuse me, wrong Blight. It's going to use Needles, and it's going to shoot out some needles at Jericho. And that is going to be a 19 to hit.
Pew, pew, pew.
Okay. You are going to take 8 piercing damage. So as you are standing by the rock, the sword's just kind of like full blown, like, listen, like it's cool. You seem like a nice guy. Promise you I can help. As it's kind of catching your attention, these needles come jettisoning over, landing in your neck, and you get caught, and then they get stuck right inside the side of your neck here. You're dealing 8 damage.
I take 8 damage and resent coming through this path.
Next is going to be Loki.
I'm going to fire at that. I guess it's the spine one. Would you call it?
Needle.
Needle, the one that just.
It's a needle blade.
Yeah, the one that just attacked Jericho. I'm going to attack.
Okay. So its arm is just now. The needles just came through, and you are pulling back your fiery arrow and letting loose, and roll for your attack.
That is 22.
Okay, and then roll for damage.
Uh, 6 plus 4 to fire, so 10 total.
How do you want to do this?
I'm assuming, are they weak to fire? Is it like naturally bursting into flames as soon as it kind of hits them?
Yeah, I mean, it's a pile of needles that's in a humanoid form, essentially.
Okay. I will. I mean, I don't see other thing other than just like right in the chest and just engulfs and just starts. The flames just start going across and spreading around its whole body until it's like flailing and then collapses. I don't know.
Sure. Okay. So as it collapses to the ground, a big puff of smoke and flame, and then all the needles. You kind of get this weird scent in the air. You call it the hairs on your arm, the three that you have, stand up, and you have this.
Oh, my hands!
You have this chill about you. The fire that you were trying to put out goes out. Loki, luckily, the fire that you just created did not spread and completely engulfed all the needles and gone. Meanwhile, the sword just. Wow, it's been a long time since I've seen some action. That was quite entertaining, you guys.
Can I run towards the sword?
Yeah, you can run right up to it.
I run away from the sword.
Are we out of initiative?
Yeah, you guys are out of initiative.
I'm gonna be picking the needles out of my wound.
So I'm running up to the sword, opening my bag of wonders, taking out some cloth, and I'm getting the sword and I'm throwing it in my bag of wonders.
You
this sentient being.
You get off
it. You
it.
pick up the sword box. It's basically almost like magnetic, and it's on your hand, and you're trying to get it off, and it's stuck.
He has cloth in between.
Yeah, I have cloth. I had cloth.
Yeah.
Oh, you use cloth. You clever girl. All right, as you throw it in your bag, you can just hear it kind of mumbling. Please, I've been stuck for so long, and my master, I don't know where she is, but she needs me. I can hear her calling, please. Kate's justice demands it. I can show you the way.
So I'm closing the bag. And then
Wait, so it is the sword that is talking then?
We were looking for a sword.
It's like he can still talk through the bag, right? It'd just be muffled.
if there's nothing, as far as I understand, that once it's in the bag, it's in the bag. That it doesn't make sound. Maybe you, Caleb, can elaborate a little bit more, but I think that if it's in there, it's in there.
On the bag of
holding. The bag of holding.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, there's no way.
It's in another dimension once it's closed.
Yeah. So as you're like, I can help.
And so then I just turn to the group and I say, "Tuahim," and then I just start walking.
Wait, where are you walking to?
To the Ahim clan.
Adoration.
Wait, do we want to observe this? I want to at least observe the stone in the center.
I would like to put out any remaining fires.
All the fires are gone.
All the fires are gone.
Are you sure I have it ready? I could just.
No. It's okay.
Okay.
Did anybody else
seen
see
enough here? Are we okay with taking in the sights? Can we go now?
I'm gonna cast detect magic on near the stone.
You have detect magic?
Yeah.
Good spell.
You don't sense any magic coming from the stone itself. No, but you sense magic coming from Lox's bag, essentially.
Yeah. Do I? Oh, actually, I would like to use. Where'd it go?
Who's observing the stone?
I was.
So, as looking at the stone, you notice a
stone cunning.
You see. Okay, what does stone refresh me for stone cunning?
Whenever you make an intelligence history check related to the origin of stonework, you are considered proficient in the history skill and add double your proficiency to the check.
Okay, do that. So roll for that, and then Loki also roll for perception with advantage. I'll give you advantage as well.
With advantage?
Wait, I get advantage or Loki gets advantage?
You both do.
Oh, thank God.
Perception is it investigation or perception?
You could do either.
I'll do investigation then. Which is dirty 20.
I got a total of 8.
Dirty 20. We'll take that one.
So you're trying to sense like you're trying to be like, was this made? Did somebody put this rock here? Meanwhile, Loki, you're just observing it for what it is. So Brall, you're thinking very heavily on the history of the rock, and you can't really come up with much at this moment. But Loki, you notice there's a crack in the rock, and there's a stone that looks like if you move it, you can actually, you might be a big hug. It's about the size of you, but it looks like it actually could be pulled out.
Wait, there's a stone inside the boulder?
It's cracked. It's cracked,
Yeah.
and inside the crack, you notice that there is another stone that you pull it. Looks like there's something or nothing potentially behind it, but it looks like that could be moved.
Okay, I guess. This is strange. I'm gonna take a look. So I can kind of like maybe take a dagger and kind of lever it in and pop it out, kind of thing.
Yeah, the stone's about human size. That's kind of pushed in to this crack.
Wait, a human-sized stone is inside another very large stone?
Yeah, this stone. Okay, so let me rephrase. This is about it's a boulder actually. That is the middle of this vine dome. Okay, and it's cracked down the middle, and the crack itself is about, I would say, 6 feet. Okay, inside the crack there is a stone that is kind of sealing a majority of the crack that looks like if you pull it out, you can peer behind it a little bit. It looks like there's a pathway that goes down.
Not another mine.
I don't know. It looks like an entrance, doesn't it?
Does it look
an entrance that
human
that is
stone?
Ukalo, could you use your gift and see if it's a portal nearby, maybe?
Possibly. Let me see. I sit down, I concentrate, and I take out a little pendant. I let it rest. It has no meaning, but I cast detect portal.
So as you're focusing, you sense multiple portals buried beneath the ground right now.
I sense several things. So I detect the distance and direction of the closest planar portal within the mile. So it feels as though it's kind of, my reading's kind of spotty. I think there might be more than one. That's all I got.
Like this is a hotbed of some kind of, I don't know, portal cave that.
To be clear, Yukao, right now you sense a total of 9 portals.
By the 14, there are 9 of them.
What?
9.
Okay, so there are 9 portals and a sword.
There's a sword?
To Comedian. Yeah, the one that locks.
Did I see the sword?
We all saw it, right?
Yeah, everybody saw the sword and heard the sword talking. That is now in Lox's bag.
I just shiver.
I'm just saying that it's really convenient. It's kind of odd, don't you think? Like 9 portals and a sword. Portals and is this a trap from the horny man?
I don't think he means ill intent.
A talking sword definitely seems like something of the Fae.
I do.
Talking sword.
Trickery.
It's not necessarily, but it's something that is not to be tampered with. Something that nobody should trust.
At this moment, Thomas kind of comes walking in to the dome and he kind of looks around. That guy left in a hurry. I mean, it's very hilarious the effect you guys have on people. I'm surprised I haven't run away at this point, but Yet here I am. What are we doing here?
Thomas, do you think you could squeeze on in there?
Squeezing down in yonder where?
Look, I point out the crack in the boulder.
He kind of peers through. He pulls it. 1 second.
Just pretend it's the pocket.
He's stuck.
And stay in the pocket.
And you got to stay in the pocket.
There.
Guys.
So he tries to pull it, and it doesn't move, and then he pushes it, and it falls forward, and it unveils an entryway to an underground crypt.
Guys, curiosity.
Cal, did you mention anything about
undead?
Yeah, did you mention that?
I did not, but I would say that this is probably from the feeling I was getting.
Well, the last time we ventured into a random empty hole in the ground, it worked out great for all of us, right?
I mean, last time...
Yeah, but it can't happen twice in a row, can it?
Right, what are the
odds? No way there are 2 worms. That'd be improbable.
Yes.
We go down 1, it's bad. Next one we encounter, probably great.
Guys, we already got a magic sword out of this, right?
Let's think about it this way. Just because you have one shit relationship doesn't mean every relationship is going to be shit after that. You have to keep trying. You have to keep putting yourself out there.
Otherwise, also just stop trying to have relationships with dark, deep mine shafts.
That is absurd, Jeremy.
Well,
I'm beginning.
It doesn't look like a mine in here, but I do see. It looks like there's paint. Something. Must have
you see paint?
Yeah, it looks
Thomas,
like
get out of there. It's making me nervous.
Okay. It's colorful.
I walk up to look in it.
What do your dwarf eyes see?
So you see stone steps that are going down that were carved. This is obviously carved by someone hand carved these stone steps down, and along the walls you see almost like hieroglyphic paintings that are adorned on each side as it goes down deeper and deeper and deeper until you can't see because it's too dark.
The dwarven side of me that hasn't been in caves in a long time feels a very strong
shiver.
Curiosity.
Yeah, he loves it.
I start running my fingers along the hieroglyphics.
Are they of a culture that we might be aware of?
We're outside still.
Yeah, you guys aren't.
Is it how deep in? I thought it was on the side, like.
Yeah, it's on the side. So
where
right now, where you guys are, there's basically a giant hole going down into the ground, and then Brall is kind of hunched over, looking down, and he can see basically aligning the sides with his dark vision. He can see some hieroglyphs on the side. Are you asked? Did you relay to them, Brall, what you're seeing right now?
No, I'm deeply in thought right now.
Yeah.
In thought.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is this a different history check than looking at the stone?
Yeah, I'll give you a different history check.
I'm gonna gather some of the twigs of the twig blights, and then I'm gonna make them kind of almost wrap them together, and make them into a torch, and use my arrow's flame, making it to like a torch in the end.
Okay.
16.
And then put my arrow away.
Brall, you sense that these hieroglyphs have to do with. It's something of legend that you're not too familiar with, but familiar with enough. You keep seeing what do you call it? A name over and over again, and you can't really make it. It's almost scratched off though. You know if it says Jocelyn or Jessica. You're not too sure if it's one or the other. but it is it's definitely a name that starts with a J. But beside it, you can make out the Great Paladin. So etched in ancient hieroglyph that you're somewhat familiar with, that you've read through your studies. But it dates back probably at least 400 years or so.
Hey guys.
Hmm?
Yeah, bro.
What do you see?
I can't quite make out the name because it seems, well, for one, old. But I'm not sure if this is accidental or intentional, but the name seems scratched out.
What does it say?
Either Jocelyn or Jessica.
It's a
Ukalo,
common name, Denon.
I think that your girlfriend has some baggage.
Don't we all?
But there's also something here about a paladin of legend. And I'd be lying if I said the hairs on the back of my neck didn't stand up when I said that.
Do you think that maybe this sword once belonged to this paladin of legends?
Oh,
Or he is the paladin of legends?
Maybe. I mean,
his
didn't
name
the
might be
sword
Jocelyn.
say something about its master and refer to it as a her?
No, this cable. No.
As a her?
Yeah, there was
So
definitely
you
talking
think
about
it may have
something.
been a female paladin of legends that had forgotten her sword?
Forgotten or left.
Oops. There it goes.
Or maybe this is her crypt. Should we open the bag
I'm still outside.
Should we go down there?
Should we open the bag and maybe ask the sword first?
I'm not against it.
Lux, can you open the bag and ask to it? Like, hey!
I'd walked away. I'm not with you guys.
Oh no.
It walked away.
I walked away. Lux walked away. And I rolled for stealth. I'm hiding, so I have a 25. I have a 25 if y'all want to find me.
Okay, one sec, Lox. I'm going to remove you and add you back in real quick because I think you froze. 1 sec.
Oh no.
There you go. There you are. You did a really good job of hiding, in fact.
Super good.
So you're hidden in somewhere in this dome at this particular moment in time, but you walked towards the entrance.
How far down the stairs do I see?
So, from your vantage point, looks like it's probably maybe like 15 feet down, maybe 20, but it ends in all darkness.
Even with dark vision?
Because the way it's angled, you can't see, because it almost goes down and then it flattens out.
Gotcha.
Well, this was a great adventure. I say we turn around. We all satisfied? We came an appropriate amount.
I just want to take a peek.
Okay.
I
so
figured.
Brall, you start walking down the steps by yourself.
I'll follow behind him with the torch.
Okay. The torch illuminates the way. You get to the bottom and you come to a chamber. It's a 5 feet. It's almost like a hallway that goes down, and it at the side is depicting a picture. So as you filter into this pitch black corridor, okay, the paths narrow as you walk farther, and you can feel yourself moving deeper underground. Okay, so it's kind of slanted a little bit. The smooth stone walls slick with groundwater. Suddenly, the slender passage opens, revealing a large open chamber, illuminated with a dim blue hue. Each wall features a pictogram depicting what appears to be the exploits of a valiant knight. The sword can be seen in this knight's hand as well. So you're right. The first picture you see as you flick your flame over to it, Loki, is you see an image of a female knight in armor holding the head of a demon aloft. So this knight holding this demon, in the other hand the sword. You flick your flame to the left. You see the same knight kneels before a hooded figure. Her heart in her hands, no longer carrying the sword, as she offers it up. In the next panel, as you move your flame down the wall, she's leading a battle charge against an overwhelming force. Her armor shining as she holds her swords aloft forward in this image. At this point, Brall, you're looking, you're scanning the wall a little bit further. Loki, you're trailing behind him. The next image features the knight face down in the muck of the battlefield. She looks older, defeated. Looming above her and offering a scroll dripping with blood in a shadowy figure with broken feathered wings. The pictograms, the remaining pictograms showcase the knight pulling out her heart and placing it on a large rock, then stabbing it with the sword. The knight then signs the bloody document, her body more powerful, a pair of shackles and chains wrapped around her arms, and the sword left behind in the stone. A final pictogram has her returning to the battlefield, stopping an onslaught of evil to save her town once more. And then that is the last pictogram.
Is it like, does the chamber continue?
There is a single door that it leads to.
This is oddly creepy.
Yeah. What do you make of this story, Loki? This is messing with the realms of evil.
It looks as though she has given up her. It's a paladin, maybe, have fallen from grace and looking for more power somehow.
To save a place that she cares about.
Because this is in the Sedan territory, right?
Yeah, you're still in the Sedan territory. I should mention the door that you see. There's two large statues of guards, stone guards, that have long javelins that are crossing over the door.
Okay.
So in my history learnings of Orem, do I recall any stories that they might have dug up?
Did you come down and check with us?
Yeah, I've been down here.
Okay, so you're following behind.
So I look behind me and I see Jericho suddenly. I'm like, holy!
Things are pretty
behind
crazy,
people like that.
You're not too familiar, but you recognize the language that you see kind of scattered throughout. Again, you can't really make out the name. You don't remember anything from history, no.
Okay. Do I know what language it is?
The language is Celestial. But you don't. Again, I don't. You don't. Are you familiar with Celestial?
No, I did not speak yet.
Yeah, so you can make out bits and pieces, but you don't fluently. You can just recognize the name is either Jessica or Jocelyn, and you're trying to figure it out. But do any of you speak Celestial?
Yes.
I do, but I'm not down there.
Loki? Or Brall?
No, I speak Infernal.
Okay. All right.
The opposite. I speak the opposite.
Yeah. All right, but there is Celestial above the door, and you guys are staring at it, and you don't know what it says. The flame light is kind of flickering up against the stone as you stare at it.
Is the door wood or stone?
The door is stone.
Does it look like there's any kind of lock on it?
No, it's a stone door that it would take some effort, but could be moved. And you would have to duck under the two guards that have their these javelins, if you will.
Can I inspect the guards to see if they look like
constructs?
And I do want to backtrack. They're not giant; they're human size, so they're normal human size guards.
I'd like to inspect them.
And the door is a normal sized door, but it's made of stone.
Gotcha. Like human-sized door?
Yeah.
Okay. I'd like to inspect the statues to see if they look like they move, or if there's something more to them than just
detect magic, or what do you?
Not necessarily. Just
perception?
Yeah. I'm thinking like mechanical. Like, does it look like their arms move? Does it look like they rotate at the base? That kind of thing.
Roll for perception. Or investigation, rather.
9.
Okay. No, they look like normal statues.
I really wish we understood what this was saying. Jericho, you can't make out any of this?
It's talking about Jocelyn, Jessica. But I mean just the statues as they look. I don't understand the language at all. This is before my time, I guess, as you could say.
Fred, is there anything in folklore?
What was that?
Sorry, what did you say?
Is there anything in folklore that it may have been passed down to, like from Sumet to even?
What do you guys see down there?
Honestly, it's endearing. It's endearing that you think that we would pass down the culture stories, but
not Sumet. I'm sorry, not Sumet. I meant Sedan to Madrove area, because like the Sedan and the Madrove are all around the same area. So I'm wondering if it's like a similar folklore tale.
You know, Danon has a book of folklore, but you're not too, or fairy tales, but you're not too immersed with it. But you do hear Yukalo and Danon screaming for you guys right now.
Hey guys!
Call them.
Yeah,
come on down. The water's great.
Come down here.
We lost Lux.
Yeah, we're waiting.
I'm sure he'll turn up eventually.
I don't know. He seemed a little off today.
Locks. That is.
I will write on the ground. I will. Yes.
Yeah. What were you gonna do?
I'm going to write locks and then put an arrow, like pointing out to the entrance. I guess that let's go. Right?
Locks! I just scream out into the thing.
Lost without you.
Nothing.
So nothing. So you guys are just standing at the base of this crypt. Do you want to go down or stay at the top?
I'll tell you what, Danon. I'll go down real quick. I'll gather them up and I'll bring them back up. How about that? And we can go get Locks.
Yeah, I'll know how that goes.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So do you have dark vision, Yuko?
Hmm.
Okay. So as you're walking down, again, you see an image, and you're going down this corridor, and then you come into this chamber. Yeah, you see the image of the female knight in armor holding the head of a demon aloft. The same knight kneels before a hooded figure, her heart in her hands as she offers it up. In the next panel, she's leading a battle charge against an overwhelming force, her armor shining as she holds her sword aloft.
As I'm going through these things and I'm looking at these, when I get to the part about how she like stabs her own heart, I'm just gonna be like, "Oh wow, I didn't even know that was physically possible." And just keep going.
Okay. So then you get to the door, and do you speak Celestial? I believe you do.
Yeah, I look up at the
Okay,
words.
and what you see carved in stone above the statues are the words "Dismisser of Cade," "Champion of Rebdoc," "Jocelyn's sacrifice healed our lands," "Savior of the sheltered wood," "None but death can stop her," and we'd like to see death try.
Can you say that again, but slower?
Okay. Carved in stone above the statue are the words "Dismisser of Cade," "Champion of Rebdoc," "Jocelyn's sacrifice healed our lands," "Savior of the sheltered wood," "Savior of the sheltered wood," "None but death can stop her," and we'd like to see death try.
Are you telling us this?
No. So I, as I walk up to you guys, I look up at the inscription and I just go, "Huh, that's weird."
Can you read it?
Yeah, and then I just relay it immediately.
It looks like she's dying in this one.
It looked like she died a couple times. I mean, did you guys see the thing with the heart?
Yeah, that was impressive.
Did she cut out her heart twice?
Well, she was holding it at one point, then she was like in a battle, and then she stabbed her heart. I'm not entirely sure. Can you guys make any sense of this? Dismisser of Cade, Champion of Rebedoc, Jocelyn's sacrifice healed our land, Savior of the sheltered wood. None but death can stop her. We'd like to see death try.
Do any of us recognize those names?
You recognize, not you don't, but Loki, roll for history, and then Yukalo, roll for history. And then who else? Jericho, no, you don't. Anybody else down there with you? Danon stayed up top, so Brall, you're down there, right?
Actually, yeah. I'm going down. What do I see?
Okay, so you see the same. Do you want me to read the depictions again to you, or? Okay, so you see an image. Do you have dark vision? Sorry.
Yes.
Okay, so you see an image of a female knight in armor holding the head of a demon aloft.
Whoa.
As you go down the path and into the chamber, okay, then you see the same knight kneels before a hooded figure. So she's kneeling in front of a hooded figure, her heart in her hands as she offers it up. In the next panel, she's leading a battle charge against an overwhelming force, her armor shining as she holds her sword aloft. And it has the red gem in the sword in the picture. The next image features the knight face down in the muck of the battlefield. She looks older, defeated, looming above her and offering a scroll, dripping with blood as a shadowy figure with broken feathered wings. So she's laying down in the muck, and the shadowy figure is offering a scroll. The remaining pictograms showcase the knight pulling out her heart and placing it on a large rock, then stabbing it with the sword. The knight then signs the bloody document, her body more powerful, a pair of shackles and chains wrapped around her arms, and the sword left behind in the stone. The final pictogram has her returning to the battlefield, stopping an onslaught of evil to save her town once more.
Wow.
DM.
Mm-hmm.
So I rolled a 5. However, I do have advantage on history checks with when it is recalling information about fae, fiends, or undead. That includes lore and historical events
I rolled
and
a
legendary
17.
people.
Okay, so you have advantage then, Loki?
Yeah, it says your intelligence history check measures your ability to recall lore about historical events, legendary people, ancient kingdoms, past disputes, recent wars, and lost civilizations. I recall information about fae, fiends, and undead in that regard with advantage.
Okay.
So I'm just curious, I rolled a 5, should I roll again?
Yeah, roll again.
It's even worse.
Jocelyn. I got a 17. Jocelyn.
Okay, so you don't recognize the name Jocelyn, but you recognize the name Cade.
Cade?
Cade. So
Cade.
Cade, you recognize as an agent of Aaron. And Aaron's son. And you know from mythology that Aaron had 2 sons, Cade being one. And that's all you know at this, like just kind of jogging your memory.
Guys.
I feel like I should know this.
Cade is one of the 2 sons of Oron.
Who's Oron?
Loki, you're like,
one of the rock people? Like the ones that they turn into.
No,
are you carrying?
Yeah. I'm thinking if hold on.
What about the?
Yeah, I'm thinking.
Is the rock that Cade, the apple thingy, the apple speared rock? Does
the
that
rock that I'm carrying?
Yeah, does that looks kind of similar to the one that we saw depicted on
Do I know whether or not
on the
Cade is the
wall?
son of life or death? Because I know it was split in 2.
So you know. So okay, so you rolled what? 17?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I rolled an 18 minus 1. So
right. So you know Cade was the son of Aaron. Okay, and you know that he had a falling out with his father because he as legend goes, he had a love interest that his father did not agree with.
Don't we all?
So I relay that Cade is one of the son. He had some daddy issues, kind of a romantic thing that his father did not approve of.
So is that the demon's head in the first pictograph?
I don't know, but it looks like this Jocelyn made some kind of pact, either with Cade or.
At this time, Thomas comes down with a torch.
DM.
Thomas, you were supposed to wait for Locks.
DM.
Yeah.
Does the rock look similar?
You don't see any depictions of the rock in any of the paintings, no. But as Thomas comes down, he's kind of looking at the paintings as well with his torch. I was waiting for Locks, but then I remembered Locks doesn't really care for me to wait for him too much. And I feel like me alone with Locks, I'll probably just end up getting poisoned again. So I decided to take my chances. This is very interesting, and I'm actually going to roll for his history check.
Does he speak Celestial?
He doesn't speak Celestial, but he is from the area, so he knows the lore. And he rolled a 17 as well.
Do you know this tale?
Well, I don't know the tell, but it's quite obvious that this woman was in love. She gave up her love to save her village, it looks like, and she made a pact with a devil. I would just, that's what it looks like to me. She turned her heart, gave her heart to save her village.
Do you know of this village, this sheltered wood?
Well, wasn't the ruins not too far from here?
You mean back in the direction we met Barnaby?
Yes, there was. I mean, maybe that was.
DM.
Yeah.
Is that the same story or similar story that I read in my lore book?
It's a different story.
Okay.
The one you had was about the one. Are you talking about the one from the last episode that you read, or are you just asking to do a lore check real quick? Because you read a separate. Okay, so you have been reading it. So make a check, a history check.
Yeah. Because the last time I was looking for hack stories, right?
Yeah. The fair of the area, so. And you have been reading it at night. So we'll see.
History?
History.
13.
Okay. But you have been reading, so I'm actually going to be generous. I'm going to give you advantage. So roll one more, because you actually have been actually physically saying, I'm taking out my book reading.
So that's 19 plus 1, so it's a 30. 20.
Okay, so as Yukala is kind of talking about the fact that, like, and as Yukala is talking and also as Thomas is talking, it's kind of jogging your memory a little bit. And it reminds you, and it's the story of, so Cade is like a demigod, okay? And he was born of, he is Aaron's son, and also was born to a human. So kind of like a Hercules, if you will. And he fell in love with a Jocelyn.
Jocelyn?
Mm-hmm. And Jocelyn was a paladin whose village was under attack by an invading army from a different clan. And they were losing the battle, and the legend has it, all was lost. And a demon appeared to her and made a pact that if she gives what she loves most, he will save her village. And in the middle of the night, Jocelyn killed Cade to secure this pact. And the devil, or this demon, and the demon's name was Rebduck.
Sorry.
And the demon, Rebdak, and the demon gave her the strength to defeat this invading army and the power to do it. But she had to give up her heart in order to, and her heart being Cade. So she sacrificed Cade for her town, saving him. As legend tells.
I will be like, oh no, this seems really familiar, and it's okay. I take out my book and it's like, guys, like I really, and I show them, and I start like really geeking, kind of like pointing, like, and this happened, and then if you point out and you see this is the same thing. This is the same thing.
Does the demon have any horns?
The demon has black feathers, like wings, and the image that you see in the cavern is does have horns that curl back, and it has black grayish wings, and it's coming from the sky face first with Jocelyn as she's laying on a field of muck and dead bodies, and they're facing each other, but she's on the ground and he's hovering over her. That's the only image you see, though.
Can you describe the horny man's horns again?
They were red.
By the shape?
They were kind of like 1 second.
Like ram's horns?
They were. 1 moment.
Okay, going back.
1 minute.
Sounds like the same description as the demon.
Mm-hmm.
It was this.
So
different.
So he might be a follower. But
you know that the you know that his court wears demon masks. That is a thing for his followers, and you know that as well, Jericho.
Okay, and do I know what clan was Jocelyn from?
You're not too familiar. It's pre the existing clans. You're not from this area, so you're not really too familiar with the history of the land, but you remembered that fairy tale.
I will just point out that she was local.
Okay, were we not tasked to find a sword from the horny man?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did we not just find a sword? That's
what I'm saying.
I mean,
so the horny man is one of this devil's followers. Is that what we can assume?
I don't know if we can assume that just because they both have horns. Plus, the sword that we were looking for was in the Feywild, not here.
But was it in the Feywild? Carlo just said that this is kind of like a portal place, right?
Are we in a portal, Carlo?
I mean, below us.
So probably beyond this door.
Through those doors with those figurines there.
I'm going to gently push on the door to see if it resists or gives.
It opens at the touch.
What do I see inside?
You see fog, very thick fog, but you can see about 10 feet in. And 1 moment.
Lux?
So you, apologies. Okay, so when you open the door, you step in, and then you see a giant stone, also saying something in Celestial that you can't really make out, and then a white fog encompasses you, and then you look down at your feet, and you notice that you're standing on a ledge. And then you see white orbs that are lining the sides of this whatever, just this glow, these white glowing orbs that you can see far off in the fog. And then one orb comes flying close to you, and it flies across, and it kind of spreads the fog, and you see steps that are going across, and next to these steps you can see, and each step is about 10 feet away from each other. And they're scattered about, and it cuts through the fog. And as it cuts through the fog, kind of re-encompasses the area that it left. So you only get a brief moment of seeing this. And you see that there's this green liquid that is bubbling next to all these steps, and all the steps are about 10 feet away. And then you see orbs that line the sides of these these glowing orbs. Same one that's going to you, and it comes towards you, and then it backs up, and it goes across the room, and you see the steps again, and the green next to these steps.
I turn back and get Cal's attention. Say, Cal, are you able to read this? There's more of that language in here.
Let me take a peek. I just poke my head in.
Brall, we need to talk a little bit about your recklessness.
for a quick second, and then
And-
seeing the footsteps and whatnot,
Yeah.
I go, "Oh, dude, no, I think Locke's had the right idea." And I'd step away. I back away from the door.
Do you read the engraving at the top or no?
Maybe a glance.
Okay. So you color as you look up. I mean, it's not long; it's quick, and you internalize it. And what it says is, "Empty your heart of all desire, fill it with the need to serve."
Empty your heart. Yeah, I got it, bro. You can close that door, please, now.
All right.
So you're closing the door?
If you guys don't want to continue, then I will.
Well, is there anywhere to
We
continue?
need our gray shot.
Or, if I may, any reason to continue? We know exactly what we need to be doing, and I guess I don't really know why we're down here, except for look at a fun thing in the ground. Look what happened last time when we went down this thing. Well, different thing. And you guys went down there. I didn't go down there. But
Well, the only thing is here, I know we've got a couple different options, right? Last time we hopped in a portal that sent us to the Feywild. I don't know whether you're on any rush to get back there.
But if the task is to find the sword, and if this is the sword, well, Locke's just ran off with it.
This is a sword, and that is very true.
Well, it sounds to me that if Cade was a demigod, and the sword that the horny man is looking for is one that can kill the Autumn Queen, maybe the Autumn Queen is also a demigod. Maybe the sword has the capability of killing the Autumn Queen because of that.
A lot of assumptions going around here.
yeah. This is a lot for me. Lots of portals and stuff that people are talking about. I'm out. So I'm gonna walk out.
Yeah, we need to leave this place and we need to find Locks. We should be all stick together.
All right.
Besides, he is the one carrying the sword, so we need to find him. And I'm going to start walking outside.
I follow.
I make a note of this place and look around one last time. I'd like to make one last history check before we leave.
Okay.
Using stone cunning. Well, that didn't do much. 7.
A second. 7, you said?
Yeah.
Are you adding your proficiency?
Double my proficiency.
You added that to the 7, so you rolled like a...
No, I rolled a 3.
Jeez.
Oh, shit. So something you do see is the orbs. They kind of go as you're backing up and closing the door. There's 3 orbs on each side and one at the end, and they all kind of go into the middle of this room. And as you're closing it, the fog kind of disperses a little bit, and you see steps leading to the other side and a door. And then the door closes, but you don't really gather much more than that.
Okay. I walk out.
All right, so the rest of the group comes out. Thomas kind of standing by the entrance. That was quite interesting.
Have you seen Locks?
I don't know. I didn't think of this sooner. I try to track Locks. We're in the forest, right?
Yep. Roll for your what? Roll for what's your proficiency for that?
One moment. My proficiency bonuses. Let's see. Well, what am I?
I was going to ask you, what is your ability is what exactly that gives you this your favorite terrain?
My proficiency bonus is doubled when I make any intelligence or wisdom check while I'm in the forest.
Would that be investigation?
Okay.
So double your investigation. And then Lox, you are hidden at this moment in time, right?
Yeah, I used stealth and I hid and I rolled a 25.
Okay.
I rolled a 16.
Okay. I mean, you're searching very hard right now. Lox, you can see him looking for you. Whatever you're doing at this moment in time, I'm not entirely sure, but it's entirely up to you. If you want to come out or not, or if you just want to stay hidden.
Is he the only one out there right now?
They're all coming out from the top. So everybody's standing by the entrance of this crypt. They're all back on regular ground underneath the dome of vines.
I'm still hidden.
Okay.
So,
Any
Thomas,
chance I can? Oh, sorry.
Thomas, you haven't looked for him? Like, you've been standing here? He could be, like, in trouble or something.
I mean, listen, Danon, I'm going to be honest. I'm kind of just, at this point, I mean, if Lox wants to reveal himself, who am I to, he might be gone. He might be here. I don't really know, but he doesn't really care very much for me. And honestly, I don't think he wants me to be the one searching for him. He's probably more likely to come out if you're the one searching for him.
That's a good point.
I say, Thomas, man, you really are the worst. And then I really want to give a good look-see to see if I can see Lox around.
Okay, roll for investigation.
I'm gonna be like quiet, daggers.
Everybody's searching for
and I'm gonna start looking for my friend.
Marco.
17 plus 6, so 23.
23.
If it helps anything, I'm not planning on coming out. So.
Okay. So no. you're not finding him at this moment. You're searching really hard, and he is. I don't even know where he is as the DM. I have no idea.
All right, I want to just kind of shout out Lox wherever you are. This was a lot of fun, but we're all ready to go now, and you're holding us up. We got a week's walk. Nothing. You hear? God damn it, Thomas.
I don't know what I did. I mean, this has all been rather confusing, to be honest with you. I'm not really sure.
I sit down and start meditating.
Fox.
All right. I think this will be the missing Lox. I think is where we're going to end tonight's episode, guys, and bring it back full force to try to find Lox next week. But I'd like to thank everybody who joined us watching tonight's episode. It was a very mysterious one for sure, but I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I hope to see you all back here next Wednesday nights. And till next time, please subscribe, ding the bell, or hit it with Brall's hammer. I don't know, but we'd love to see you guys here next week, and thanks for joining us.
Yay.